Welcome, everyone. We are glad to talk to you today about our Evergreen Microsoft 365 offering. So, what is Evergreen for Microsoft 365? So, it's about information. It's information about the Microsoft 365 environment. And yes, about the future. So we are bringing information, relevant information for your environment, for your users, for your tech team. So this information could impact your IT, your business, because it's about changing, about the new app. The good news is we will filter this information. We have multiple sources. We will explore a little bit further, but we will filter and select this information for you that will save a lot of your time. So we prepare for your changes. And before talking about this change, we will talk the drivers for the changing. Technology is the first one. We have seen how these technologies has changed our business, our way to do business, our way to we work, especially in the pandemic. We have special needs for remote work. So we have seen AI, big data, analytics, and all these technologies improvements are coming. So the vendors such as Microsoft has now the ability to change their products and improve their offering. So Microsoft 365 is impacted on that. So it has in a good way. We have more features, more apps coming, and that impact our business. Talking about business, the second key driver, it's about the business need. We talk a little bit about this remote work because the COVID-19. We need more experience. We need more meetings experience. Need more ways to collaborate better. So we need to share in a smart way. Will be more productivity. So we have external influence by GDPR or compliance is regarding data privacy. That a lot of news coming on that way. And then we also have a new generation coming, so they need these new tools and attract these new talents. To embrace this future, we need to go and then what is coming for these drivers? So we have new apps, we have new features, we have this app improved. You have seen the Viva launch. It's last month, so we have a new app. So we need to prepare that. We need to be prepared for these new features. So we have a lot of work to do on that. It's about communication. We need to communicate to our team. We need to be prepared. We need to prepare the training for our users. Sometimes we need to deploy a client or a mobile app as we have a new client to manage these devices. We need to add these in device management reports. And also we have the support and managed service team. They need to be aware of that. And also create on-demand content. So for your internet or a video or self-help for your users. But not only new apps, we have also features and configurations. The Microsoft Teams you see in the last months, we have a lot of new capabilities. So we can do large meetings now. We have a lot of integrations and new ways to do meetings and share contents. We are seeing this accelerating, improving. So we have also security configurations that now is possible, data privacy, and also for the techie guys, techie users, we have more automation and app builders. All these configurations, we know the information about everything before. We have like 2 months or 6 months or even 1 year before they come. We can start planning these changes and also we can manage better our environment. We have some apps that will be retired, so goes to the end of life. So if you remember, Skype for Business And lately this week you have the Internet Explorer, so they are going to end of life. So we need to plan that. We need to migrate data sometimes when needed and install clients. So we need to care about all of the things. So we create the Evergreen for Microsoft 365, and we have a business edition. So we have a shared session. We have a lot of customers together, like we are here today. So for different companies, so that is cost saving. So it's easier to get everyone in a 1 hour session every month. This curate information that we get for you, we filter and they curate it. The future is near, so it's 2 to 6 months usually, and it's less than 1 hour, so it's a good time for everyone. Also, we have the Enterprise Edition. This edition is very similar for the business, but it's only for one company. It's for a single customer. And also, we have some personalized content because this company could use a lot of one an app, and for instance, Teams. Is a heavy user of Microsoft Teams, and maybe don't use a couple of Microsoft 365 apps, so we can get personalized content for this customer itself. And in this edition, enterprise edition, it's usually more than 5,000 people. So we have a lot of roles in the Microsoft 365 environment, such as compliance team, adoption team, service owner, security. So we get everyone together, and we have this streaming content management. This is the kind of task bar, so we help them to get all these information that are coming, that we're bringing to them. We have a workflow of approval, so we need to get the Works Council approval. We need to have the security team approval. We need to assign some tasks. We need to prepare the IT environment. We need to prepare the communication. So we help to organize these tasks. This is very important for this future, that these apps that are coming. And if needed, we have this add-on for techie sessions. So for instance, we would like to have your help on these specific content that are this change that are coming soon, and we do not have time to work on that, or we need more information about that. So we need a hands-on, we need a test, we need a help in planning. So we are more than glad to be together in this add-on tech session, or even they want to know more about an existing feature. So for instance, you don't know SharePoint or Power Platform, and they want to start to create more apps. So we are also can help you on that. So the brand new offering is end user services. So it's a little bit different because on this offering, we talk to business users, and the first two offerings are more technical team or experience in the privacy, everything. And that this one is for business, for end users. So they probably do not have any more technical skills. So we do not talk a lot of the future. We bring to the present, to switch to the present. We figure out that there is a gap between the way teams work today and the all technology is available in these platforms, Microsoft 365 platform. Because of this gap, we create this offering. So we can we can be together. We get a department or small teams and to help in adoption. It's not only about the technology adoption, but the way they work. We ask them to bring to us their real life cases. So they bring this case and we present as well this solution, the best solution that fits. For instance, we need to hold a live session using Microsoft Teams. or we need to work better in co-authoring because in our company we still send Word documents by mail to and merges all these changes. So we know here in this room that we have co-authoring. So, but most of some business users don't use that so much. We can help them in adoption these features and work smart and so it's special case. So when they bring their real case on their life, so we can work on that and help them. We create a material that they can also on demand consulting this material. So we have these three options today, and now I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Daniel.
Thank you. I would like to introduce me. I'm Daniel Lissis. I work for Skaylink as a specialist of Office 365 and Microsoft products. I work with Microsoft products since the last on the last 13 years, and I am exactly with these products since the concept. What I would like to present for you, it's exactly the what it's contained inside this evergreen, what this cause brings to the company, and what is the exactly information that we will present to you inside this monthly cause. So the main focus on this presentation when we developed that was to bring the information about the security change, the privacy change, and also the change that will require the end user trainings and end user updates about this kind of information. Because when you switch up to a SaaS platform like Microsoft 365, you lose the control that you had on your environment, that you could update the software based on specific time frames. You can plan this change exactly, and you can bring this information before to the users on when you are on Office 365, Microsoft 365 products, or any other SaaS products. You lose this connection. The updates are controlled by the vendor, and you have to get this information with some. You can get this anticipated, then you can plan exactly the training, plan exactly what the features you want to turn on or off, and see if you can turn on or off these features. So the focus on the security as the features that change exactly how you control the environment. So the sharing permissions change, the auditing, the backup information, the restore information will be inside of these topics. You have topics related to privacy. That's exactly topics that are quite hot right now regarding the AI change, data processing, data monitoring, and data insights inside Microsoft 365 environment. And also new and updated features, change decommissioned features that will require some end user trainings to get they easily to use the new or easily to change for an old feature to a new one that has been one decommissioned and the other published now. Just to present some examples of the features that are coming and exactly these kind of features that are presented. This is one of the last calls that we had on this month. That's the change about the control on the attendees experience inside the calls. So now the customers, the mostly the organization, the organizer of the meeting will have the possibility to choose as little more options, and one of these new ones has the possibility to allow the directly invitees to connect the meeting, but restrict that if someone forward this invitation, therefore the invitee will be stopped first on the lobby and then can be approved. But you have other options as well that you can control if the people on organization, people want trusted organizations that you are already added their domains inside the tenant. So you have multiple possibilities, and you have two concerns on here. You have to train some end users that highly use the meetings inside Teams, for example. So you have to know at least this new feature and how you can propagate this information inside the company so they can use it and keep the security inside, use the better security that these options can provide, and exactly know what each option of these will represent on security and what is the security levels and what these could impact the organization. For example, on this case, it's not changing the default option. The default option is still everyone and let only people on the organization to join in. But then you can have changes on Microsoft side that change the default option. And sometimes the company doesn't want to get this sitting as more open like Microsoft wants to publish. So it's good to have this kind of information, and it's good to have this kind of information with 2 or maybe 3 months before this is implemented, so the company can think and verify if need a small consulting project for a different feature, or if this is just the information is enough to then propagate this inside the company. One other topic that was presented, this one was presented on the last call in April, was a change that Microsoft published with no much time before the deployment. They published it quite close. It was to be deployed now on May. That Microsoft has changed the possibility to control better the privacy that you have inside Delve and inside Microsoft OneDrive. These two softwares was used to have the permissions to all the files that the user have shared with them. So then you can build that screens that the file shares with me on Outlook, and the shared files inside Delve that you can receive the information for the last changes on these files and so on. But multiple organizations doesn't want that to give this permission to the Microsoft, even being processed by AI, but you don't know what could be processed and what type of data is inside of the applications. It's closed. There's no much information about Delve. So Microsoft is moving the setting from Delve and bring this to Microsoft Graph. So with the Graph API, you can better control this kind of information. You have a different granularity that you can control it. But for now, it will be just single switch, or you can turn in or you can turn off these permissions for the Graph API. If you turn off, then this files information, these shared files with me on OneDrive, it will not appear for the user anymore. But we expect with this Graph API change, we'll have more and more personalized possibilities to control with this kind of information. So Graph is completely more permissive and more granular in set permissions. So this kind of information is quite important, that you can control the privacy levels that you want on the company. You can really allow new products multiple times because of this kind of change. Sometimes companies block completely the usage of Delve exactly because the privacy on Delve doesn't match the policies. And maybe one change like this, or a few groups of changes, but possibility that the company could enable the remaining of the product with turning off the settings that they don't want to implement inside their environment. So, and to present from where this data come from. So where we get this kind of information, it's not difficult to explain from where the data come from, but it's a quite difficult job for a single company to make this kind of information, because there's too many sources. Just on the base source that are used to build this content for this monthly calls, used all the Microsoft product blogs, so SharePoint blog, Teams blog, Exchange, and others. There's the roadmap site that counts with at least 1,000 or more than 1,000 changes that would happen in the next 3 to 6 months. Then you have the message center that receives 100 of messages a month just for the changes that are quite close to be implemented. You have the entire video content from the lives and events from Microsoft that needs to be viewed and analyzed after the scales, and see what is really relevant from that information, what is the most important parts of that cause, and consolidate these to create this content. That's the communities inside Microsoft. That's example the TechNet and the Answers communities inside. That's the of the Microsoft Insider program. That's few developers, a few companies that can be also directly related to the articles that comes from the development team on Microsoft, and also participate from target release. That's a release that will come before the public release from Microsoft 365. And also that's a few other sources that sometimes bring some content from the internet inside these calls. So if a single user on the company, then you get, for example, one person that will be the specialist for messaging, and he needs to get all the information about what is changing inside the Exchange servers for the Exchange Online environment, and also the related changes, because sometimes there are changes on Teams that impacts the Exchange. So this person will take so much time to follow up all these change and all these sources of content to get the entire information. So what we do is exactly have a small team that will look for over all the change constantly and build this information in a curated way, so we can speed up the way that we pass this information, translate multiple of this content that sometimes it's in a very technical language to a more business language, so to make it possible to the company get this information easily and think around what it will impact the business. That is the most important part. So this is the main part inside the content. And sometimes we also bring the content about new products. So as example, Microsoft Viva, we can bring as much information as possible. We can move demo sites inside. And the main focus exactly on of these calls to provide the entire information. But anyway, you are not alone to implement some of these settings, some of these changes. Because some of them, okay, it's just a configuration or it's just an end user training. It's easy for the company to implement. But if they need help, we have the possibilities with directly content with our specialists, with nano consulting case that we call it these special consults that is a close time specific for a feature or specific for a training directly inside this new environment. So then you can get help directly with us. I will pass back now to my colleague João. He will continue the presentation here. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you. In a nutshell, we find this information for you. So we, as Danielle was saying before, so there are multiple sources of information, a lot of work on that. So we have blog, info center, we have attendees, we have certifications, we have more than 400 consultants in our team. So we are a big group now in scaling. We get all this information, we filter this information for you and get what is more relevant for you. And then we curate for you. So we save your time. As Daniel told, it's for one single company to get all this news, all this information. We have hundreds of blogs and hundreds of information out there. So we focus on innovation, security, data privacy. So all those things that will impact your business. And then we present to you. So these sessions are, I was saying before, so it's roughly 1 hour session. It's monthly. So every month we have a new session, a new information for you. So you prepare this change and we help to transform your business because we will prepare your change so you'll be prepared for the future. We embrace this future. So we will be ready for this. And if you have any other question, if you have any other need or help to implement, so we'll be glad to be together in Adion Tech sessions. So again, we have a business that is a shared session. Usually is from 200 to 5,000 employees, but it's not written on stone, we say. Maybe sometimes it's a little bit less or more, but this is roughly what we have seen. And then this is cost saving because we put together many companies. So that is good for everyone. And also the enterprise, we work together for one customer, personalized content. And the good thing is we organize those people, those leaders, those Microsoft 365 leaders, adoption team. So we put everyone together. And so we have this streaming content management that you handle all these tasks, what everyone needs to do to make sure this change will be in a good way and we will get the future from now on. The last one so told the end user services. So for business user, for end user, for non-technical people, we focus on the present and we adopt adoption so they can use the best of the Microsoft 365. So also they have the real case from the real life, and we work and get this present and create content to be consumed. So this is the work, this is the offering. So we have some customers already working on that. For the business, I know this customer is not knowing the Europe, but they are like roughly 2,000, 3,000 employees. So in Brazil, they are good. They are for energy company, construction, so uh, tiles. So we have different industries in here. And also we have some logs that are allowed, but we have more. And these customers already consume these services. So that's it. Thank you a lot for everyone. We are glad to answer any question you have.